It's true. My wife left me. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Flawless Fatherhood. This is going to be an episode of transparency, as all my shows are. So hopefully you can get something out of it. And if you value anything that I'm saying in this video, and if you enjoy this type of content, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos. So yeah, my wife left me. Whose fault was it? What happened? What did I do? You know, sometimes you just grow apart. Sometimes things just don't work. I'm no angel. I've made mistakes. Two wrongs don't make a right. You know all the things we've heard before. My wife left me. You know, and I thought that, hey, all right, she's just going to cool off. She's just going to go and take a little break, you know. She took the kids. So, after a couple of days, I start wondering where the kids are, where she's at. So I called my grandmother, because this has happened before, one other time. So I called my grandmother and spoke to her, exchanged pleasantries, asked about my oldest son. She says, I haven't seen him since the last time you came over. I'm startled. Like, whoa. Well, where the heck are they? Two sons. I'm like, where could they be? So now I'm worried. I don't know where my family is. So I do the only thing I could do. I went to my oldest son's school, middle of the day, and I asked got him out of class, and I asked him, hey, son, where y'all staying at? He says, down in the apartments where we used to stay at. He was like 6 or 7 years old, second grade. So it hit me like a bag of bricks. I'm like, apartment? I should afford an apartment. How could she get an apartment that quick? But I'm trying to wrap my head around it because the whole family unit's shaky, you know? So I'm like, all right, first things first. I got my son out of school. I didn't let him go to the after school program since I was out of work early that day. And I went and picked my youngest son up from daycare. And I got in touch with her and told her I went and talked to our oldest son and told her that I'm taking the kids back home. That I heard she got a place and that's not where the kids stay. We're married. Why are you taking the kids away from the home? So she stated that she didn't want to be with me no more. She wanted her own space. I knew I couldn't control that. But again, as I've told many people on my followers on my page and on my channel, that I was embedded to when I was 11 years old, the things I went through as having a pretty bad stepdad, that I wasn't gonna be without my kids. I didn't know anything about what type of thing would I have to go across, what I have to do. I just didn't know. But I just knew I wasn't going to live without my kids. So I went and got them. Took them to school the next morning. Picked them up from after school program and daycare. But I'm confused. My mind's racing. Now, it never came a position or time to where she said, no, you don't have to, you can't take the kids. You can't take the kids. I wasn't thinking at the time. I just knew they were going to come back to their home. In which, to be honest with you guys, I was well within my rights. As the father, not only the father, but as the husband and father of those children, because we were married, especially, I had equal rights to those children. And I was a custodial parent through me and the mother being married. I didn't know that at the time. I just knew my kids were coming home. So they stayed home with me. And I started doing the daily report with them. Now, me and my wife end up reconciling. Getting her out of the apartment through some connections I had. And we worked things out. 2 years later, we separated / broke up for the last time. Mind you, I had told her, I don't want to miss this out. I told her, as hurt as I was as far as her leaving and the things and the state of the marriage, I told her, I was like, listen, if you leave again, I'm not coming to get you. And let's be honest, I didn't say this from a position of authority or no type of thing like that, because to be totally honest with you, at this point in time, I was the weaker vessel, trying to hold something together that was being pulled apart. I didn't like that version of myself. But I had to stand for something, okay? Now, that was in 2004. I want to let you guys know that was not recent. That was in 2004. I was in just over my middle 20s, probably 26, 27 years old, all right? What actually happened after that, a couple years later, we broke up again for the second time. And we got into an argument. I called the authorities. The police came. And I remember we had just bought a nice house, a dream home, a year prior. And, just try to turn the chapter and do something different for the family and just try to build up the foundation a little bit more. But really, it was already too late. So we got into an issue. Again, like I said, I initiated the call to the authorities. Authorities came out and we explained our stories. And she wanted to leave. I gave her the car keys. And she said, come on, boys, let's go. Come on, boys, let's go. And the boys were behind me. Their rooms were kind of back there, and we're in the kitchen area, kitchen area. Pretty big kitchen, nice vaulted ceilings and everything. That place is long gone now. And she said, come on, boys. 2 policemen were in there. One lead cop, and you could tell the other one was kind of less, had lower seniority. And when she said, come on, boys, I held them back. I put my arms out. 45-degree angle. Both ways. I said, oh, no, absolutely not. They're not going with you. She turned to the cop and she said, see, officer, see this and that. Now, the officer said, sir, would you allow her to take the kids? And I said, no. This is where the kids live. They're not gonna, I didn't know anything about the law. I didn't know anything about that. I just knew I wasn't gonna let them leave. I said, no, this is where the kids stay. They're not going with her. And she said, see, officer, and the officer said, ma'am, I'm telling you right now, this is from 2006, around about February. Said, ma'am, unless he allows them to leave, we can't make him leave, let the kids go with you. You guys are gonna have to take care of that in family law court. And at that point in time, she started breaking down in tears. She started crying. I didn't like it when I saw her crying. I have a soft spot for women crying, right? And at that time, I thought, yeah, you thought you had it all figured out. I didn't want this day to ever come, but it came. I gave her the keys to the second car. She got some belongings, and she left. And I knew at that time that was strike one against her. Like most men, like most fathers, like most husbands that are fathers, or even unwed fathers, the first mistake you do is leaving the home. A lot of people are hip to it now, but we get stuck in these old school ways that we've seen, that we've been indoctrinated with seeing, may it be television, movies, in our everyday society, in our lives, that mom always keeps the kids. No, that's not the truth. That's not the truth. When you're married, both husband and father have equal rights to the child. Now, when you're not married and you're an unwed father, the mother is the custodial parent, and you don't have equal rights to the child unless you're the custodial parent. We'll talk about how and when you should become, when's the ideal situation for you to become the custodial parent in another video here shortly. But I want to focus on the fact that I didn't allow her, my ex-wife at the time, to take the children from the home. And that was detrimental because when she left the home, it was about 2 months later, I retained an attorney and we basically laid the groundwork for abandonment for the from her regarding the children. Not abandon me, but abandon the children. And so many fathers make that mistake. They prioritize old school tradition. They let old school tradition finesse them out of their children's lives. They be like, oh, okay, well, I get to have some freedom. Oh, I get to go off and do this. Oh, well, you're the mother. No, don't do that. You might enjoy that piece of freedom then, early on, but never, ever leave the home. Never allow the mother to take the children from the home. Okay? Now we're speaking from a husband's perspective because a husband has equal rights to the child equally. Okay? Because you both are custodial parents through marriage. Now, I'm not an attorney. I'm just simply a person that's 47 years old, learned a lot through the system, not through the system, I've learned a lot in my everyday life, that in how to avoid the pitfalls in this family law, child support, all this system, all right? It's simple, but they don't teach it, okay? And I'm in the business of giving off this information, sharing this information, because I think all men should have it. I know my sons have it. I know people that are close to me have it, and I want to share it with the world. I know some fathers' rights advocates, they want to focus on changing the laws. I'll let them fight that fight. The laws were the same in 2006 when I got a divorce, when I became the primary residential parent of my two sons when they were 9 and 4 years old. That was in 2006. My ex-wife is not on drugs. My ex-wife is not an alcoholic. My ex-wife has a profession, the same profession I have. She has her own mortgage. She's married again. And she's had another child, just as I have. So, listen, you can get it done, fathers. A lot of you fathers that are listening to this, I need you to understand, you have to be careful. There are steps involved. You can't put your pride or your hurt, especially when you see the writings on the wall that the marriage or the relationship may be ending. You can't put your feelings for her above the future time with your children. Now, you may not know that at the time, but that's what it is. So you have to secure that time. Especially if you're a husband, listen, what is it? You have to make sure you don't leave the home. You don't allow the wife to take the child away from the home. 3, you initiate a divorce. They shouldn't always be the ones to divorce us. If the relationship's broken, then leave the relationship. Listen, I know a lot of people say, hey, you should stay together for the kids. I do not condone or agree with that. You're talking to a person that raised up primarily 2 boys from the age of 4 into their grown adults. They're 26 and 21 years old with aspiring careers and just fine. Love me and they love their mother as well. Me and their mother, your mother, she actually supported me and thanked me for the job I did with them. Because once we got out of our own way and we prioritized the children's happiness, when it was her weekend to get the kids every other weekend, she got them. She never missed a weekend. Now, maybe if she wanted to exchange a weekend, that's what she did. And she always got it for her time over the summer with them. And also when it was their time to go there, even if my oldest son had a girlfriend that lived in the same city, pretty much near us, he wanted to stay over so he could be around his girlfriend. I said, no, you're going to your mother's house. Now, see, most parents won't do that, but I did. So again, don't leave the home. 2, don't allow the wife or the mother to take the children away from the home. 3, initiate a divorce. 4, file a restraining order. That's very important. Majority of men, I venture to say 70, 80% of them, more of these fathers have restraining orders put on them. A lot of them are false restraining orders. Some justified. You have to handle your emotions, and you can't give anyone any type of leverage to use on you in this whole family law child support system. Because they're going to gut you financially, and they don't care if you don't make it as a man, okay? And number 5, keep your hands and your face clean. That simply means don't do anything to hurt your case. No drinking and driving. No DUIs, no assault cases, no losing your job, no that type of thing. Keep your hands and your face clean. Those are the principles I used. I basically coined it the 5 flawless fatherhood factors, husband's edition. I did it, so can you. All right? Now, when I say execute a restraining order, I did that as well. Now look, that was a long time ago, almost 2 decades ago, right? Although I'm older, I was a bit smaller then, but she was smaller, Wife is slim, so it's like, guess what? I don't care. See, a lot of men, we understand. Sometimes, things get physical, but what do? We just take it. We have to learn to start exercising the same thing mothers do for them to get the decision, get where they want to be with the children. All right? Who wants the most? You know? If it's 50-50, great. I'm in a 50-50 with my co-parenting week to week with my youngest son from an unwed situation, from a court action in 2015, 10 years old. So mind you, find me a father's rights advocate that's been successful through a divorce as a primary residential parent, where his children lives with him and he receives child support in front of the house. That's just how it works. And in conjunction with that, where through an unwed situation, I was able to position myself to where I have 50-50 physical custody, not legal custody. I don't care about just making decisions. I want them here with me. And I want to share that. And I want to make sure you fathers that are in position. That's the thing too. It's about getting this fatherless society, this single mother epidemic. Picture it as a big oak tree, one big huge oak tree, and it's got the branches on it that are just old and wilting away, and they're just about to die. That tree's full with negative energy and needs to get cured from all the bad things that dwells within it. You don't just go clipping the leaves off or trying to trim the branch. You gotta get the problem at the root, okay? And I feel like getting the problem at the root is basically educating new fathers, soon to be new fathers and expecting fathers, equipping you guys, if you're listening, with the information so you don't make missteps. So that 80% of single mothers that have their children go all the way, move closer to 50%, move closer to 30%. To where if two parents aren't going to be together, that they co-parent equally. If their characteristics and their situation allows them to. Okay? Because if not, things are just going to get continued worse and worse and worse. So again, if I can do it, you can do it. Thank you for listening to this video. Yes, my wife did leave me, but I repositioned myself to make sure that if she ever left again, she would leave on her own and she would not be able to take the children. I created a mountain for her to have to climb because I had built the rapport with the children. I was taking care of the day-to-day, and I didn't leave the home. I had a restraining order against her that was approved. And I know a lot of guys are like, oh, I'm not going to put police in my business. If you value your children's time with your children, you'll do that. Listen, let me explain something to you. When I make these videos, it's not knocking my ex-wife or my youngest son's mother. No. Me and them are in great spaces. You want to know why? They're living their lives. I'm living my life. And we want the best for each other. The only common denominator we have is the children or child we share. So once people get out of their own way, that's a wrap. I see a lot of people complaining about some things that really is out of your control. I don't control what happens or goes on at my youngest son's mom's house when she's there. As long as he's not getting abused or any type of thing like that, that's on her. That's her time, just like when he's here. Flawless Fatherhood, where you hear what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I'm in the business of changing the culture, changing this fatherless narrative. It doesn't have to be this way. The rules were the same, the laws were the same back then. The laws aren't going to change. Stop begging these politicians, these people that the laws were like that for a reason. Learn how to finesse the laws. We need to use that same energy, the same energy you men used when you saw that woman for the first time, your child's mother or your wife, where you was like, oh, I want to get that. You use all type of tactical measures to make sure you got it. Use that same energy when it comes down to maintaining or getting your children back. Might take a little time, but it can happen. Flawless Fatherhood. Remember, if you like this content, feel free to share this video, like the video, let the algorithm know. That's how you get the word out. It's a metric that's very important. Thank you, and comment. I'll be in the comments checking you out. I'll see you on the next video. Flawless Fatherhood.